The Ben HBO, it's a brand that creates the conversation more than being absolutely premium. Because that's the whole idea of having Max. We're looking at an audience which is much wider than the premium one. And I think the acquisition will help with that. The initial discussions that we are having with the producers here in France, but also elsewhere, are showing also that, or trying to widen a little bit the scope and become a real mainstream player.
You're working with people in the industry who are really well respected and really high profile. How is that important for you in the Max brand, that you keep that kind of level? It's very sophisticated.
Yeah, I think it's important that it's sophisticated, but I don't think it needs to be, and it should be. To be very honest, I think it's the brand HBO is not that. The brand HBO, it's a brand that creates the conversation more than being absolutely premium. Because that's the whole idea of having Max. We're looking at an audience which is much wider than the premium one. And I think the acquisition will help with that. The initial discussions that we are having with the producers here in France, but also elsewhere, are showing also that, or trying to widen a little bit the scope and become a real mainstream player.
Is that why the HBO brand was removed from Max?
That's the question I've been asked all the time. Why did you take the HBO brand out of the equation? HBO is a very, very important brand within the ecosystem. A very, very important one. Having said that, in the US, the brand of HBO is very strong and has advantage and disadvantage, and we wanted to have a slightly more open audience in the US.
And you appointed very, very well-known, well-respected executives in France to oversee original production. Vera Peltekian, who worked many years at Canal+. How important was it for you also to appoint people who are really plugged in the industry?
I think that's very important. I think some of you will know her. I think what she has produced speaks for itself. And yes, we can't just sit back and just wait for project to come. We just can't rely on just the magic of the name of HBO or Warner Brothers, but we really want to have the discussion with, some of you who are here, to really think about what is the next storytelling we want to create. So I think the executives that we have are definitely helping there.
And what's the rate of projects that go from script to production at Max? What would you say, like approximately?
I think you need to wait another year or year and a half to tell us that, to ask this question. It's difficult to know for now. Let's not forget, we haven't launched yet, so
yes.
We are taking time. We are ambitious with what we want to do. We have obviously development budget to make sure that we explore things in the right way. It's a bit early to say.
But it seems that you're definitely not in the volume game, right? You're looking to do, fewer but bigger shows.
Yes, absolutely. That's really the idea. Quality over quantity, for sure, for us. And I think it speaks also to what we are doing on an international basis. We are trying to find sometimes a way, those things that will create the discussion, but some other places where we have to have repeatable IP. We are trying to create also franchise. It's probably a little bit less relevant in some markets, but we see it with what we are trying to do now with Harry Potter. We have announced that we'll go with a Harry Potter series as well that is being written as we speak, more or less. That's a very exciting one. We are committing for close to 10 years, I think, with that project. Having that IP, and I think the last movie dates 12 years ago. We're trying to create as many touch points as possible. We have, and we've discussed it the other times, but I'm very passionate about the idea also of offering the audience an experience on screen, but also an experience outside of this.
Yes, before we get to that, every platform has a fashion show right now in France. Do you have one?
No, that's how we are different.
That's good. That's good. And I know when I interviewed Vera, I think it was like a couple years ago, about her ambitions, she said she wanted to make shows that are very contemporary, very modern, and that's also something that's different from some of the other platforms who are doing, you know, a lot of action thriller, but not necessarily like contemporary in the way that they touch on sensitive issues. Is that also still the case, something that you're looking to do?
Absolutely, 100%. But I have to say also that in the process of screening project, we leave ourselves very open to different things. And we have a project that we'll announce soon, which is totally out of the scope of what we thought we should be doing. But the project is just amazing, and we decided to go with it. So on one hand, we have a very clear philosophy of what we want to do. We have a strategy, but nothing is carved in stone. So we're also flexible and open for other things.
And since you're one of the last streamer to enter the market, what are the pitfalls that you want to avoid, that you've seen some other services do?
Yes, that's always what I say to myself, is being the last one has some advantage. You learn from the mistakes of others, or just because the market has evolved so much. It's amazing. So look, HBO has been true to a lot of its initial strategy. For example, we have continued to schedule shows in a way that is not what we call the binge viewing. We continue to have the Sunday show coming up to create a feeling of appointment TV, which we believe is important. So I think we will continue doing that. We want to have, and that's really important for us, we want to have a real engagement from the audience. I think the game of getting subscribers at any cost is over. We want to, as we said initially, we want to get our Max product in the hands of as many people as possible, because we truly believe that it's an amazing product. But on the other hand, we need to have the engagement. And I think this is, I guess, the biggest difference compared to what happened in the past.
And you're not only skewing teenagers, right?
No.
Is there an audience you feel like, among the older demographics for streamers today?
Sorry, what's the question?
I mean, do you feel like older audiences are watching streaming services more today, and therefore it's important to make shows also for them?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's democratized in a very meaningful way. I think because it was invented now 10, 15 years ago, also the whole generation that has, getting older with it. But and that's hence the brand of Max. We want to be a platform for everyone. If you want to watch Sopranos, rewatch Sopranos, hopefully, not watch it for the first time, rewatch Sopranos, you can get there. If you want to get the Stanley Kubrick movies, you can get that on the thing. But also, you have Rick and Morty, which is probably the biggest phenomenon of the young adult generation right now. Or the Looney Tunes. We have Tom and Jerry and all the Looney Tunes also available on this platform. So I think it speaks to a relatively wide audience.